Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today let's take a look at the last year for the BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Charlotte for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at the website, that link is down in the description. This M8 Competition is finished off in alpine white. MSRP is just over $148,000. This is powered by the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 617 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,500-pound Gran Coupe from 0 to 60 in just under 3 seconds with a top speed of 190 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 20.1 gallons. You'll expect to see 15 miles per gallon in the city, 22 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 119.2 inches. Its overall length is 200.9. It has a width of 76.5, a height of 55.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 5 inches. And like I mentioned, this is the last model year for the M8 in general, so coupe, convertible, and Gran Coupe. So if you're looking to get this luxury and performance-oriented vehicle, this is the last year to get it. So for this model up front, you'll notice it does have a forward-facing camera, and there's plenty of cutouts in this kidney grille to provide maximum cooling. There's also an M8 badge. There's a sensor in the lower section for all of those tech features, along with all the parking sensors, and a dark housing for the LEDs. You'll notice a few lines coming down the hood to give it a great look, and then some gloss black accents in the very lower section to match nicely with those inlet trim pieces. Now, as we work our way to the side, this has a two-tone design for these wheels, along with the black M Sport brake calipers. You'll notice more gloss black for the M8 badge just behind that, and it's also on the power folding side mirrors, which have a camera and a turn signal. There's more gloss black for the window trim, and being the competition model, it comes with the carbon fiber roof. You'll notice too some really nice angles and lines in the lower side skirt there, as well as the lower section of the door. And being the Gran Coupe, it has a sloping rear glass to mimic the coupes, of course, and it gives it a great look. Now there's also more gloss black for the trunk mounted spoiler. There's LEDs for all the lighting, backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then the quad tip dual exhaust. Now you can use the key fob to remote start this. And that definitely sounds really good. It's hard to talk over how good that V8 sounds. You can also use the key fob or that control underneath to gain access to your cargo space, where you can fold the back seats down for more storage. There's no storage underneath the floor. It's a little bit narrow, but you still have a good bit of space overall. And then you have the controls up top to close it or to lock the vehicle. Now, if you do lock the vehicle, as you just heard, you have proximity door handles. So grab any door handle and you can easily open it up. Now, this model is equipped with a Taruma brown full merino leather, which is a color I've never seen before. I think it looks really nice. You'll notice there's leather, there's also the automatic sunshades, brushed aluminum accents, carbon carton for the audio, storage down below, and then not only your window control, but the sunshades for your passenger, driver, and the one for the rear glass. So you can put that one up and down. You'll notice the illuminating M badge, and then with these seats, they have a great look to them, and you can fold these down where you have a large opening there to place in some more items. Now, as we hop in the back, at 5'10", I have a good bit of space for the outer two seats. If you sit in the middle, you have this stack in front of you, so you'd have a foot on both sides. Where you have vents, you have auxiliaries, a little bit of storage, you have heated seats, and then all of your temperature adjustments, fan speed, and where you'd like the air to go. There's no storage pockets behind both front seats, but you do have a good bit of headroom too. I'm just barely touching the Alcantara headliner, so I could sit upright and be comfortable. Realistically, you could have 4 people in here and a 5th person if and when you needed to. But definitely nice to be in the back. And you also have the option of folding down the middle seat individually, and there's the armrest too, where you have storage and you have the cup holders that pop out of the end there. And then you'll notice pretty thin pillars in the back, so you have a good bit of visibility all around. Now, as we work our way up front, the door panel is just like in the back. However, you have memory seating adjustments, all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments. You can actually use this control here to go between your left and right mirror. If you have it on the right mirror though, when you put the vehicle into reverse, that mirror will actually angle down. So you can use that control to have it do that operation or to not, depending on what you like. M8 Competition is down on the door sill there, and then a really nice design for these seats. They are automatic with one manual support for the leg extension there. And then it's a low vehicle, so it's easy to hop into, where there's a solid leather steering wheel. It is heated, there's the M badge down below, but let's fire this back up and get some revs of that V8. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, you'll see on the left side, there's miles per hour along with fuel. On the right side, there's tach and engine temperature. Now you can go through some info on the right side by using this control right here on the turn signal stalk. So just by pushing on that, you can go through these icons on the right side. You can see the driving modes, what gear you're in. Not a whole lot of information, but it's definitely helpful to see. And that is about all that you can go through. If we look at the rest of the controls, on the left side, all of the cruise control settings with your distance pacing. There's M1 and M2 for shortcuts for your driving modes. And then there's volume tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands. If you push this middle button here, this is a shortcut to your radio and audio adjustments on the head-up display. And then you can also view miles per hour. There's also paddle shifters too. On the left side, all of the headlight adjustments. There's one air vent, and then full leather for the dash. Now for the infotainment system, you'll notice this does not have the large curved screen. Because this model is being discontinued, BMW did not put in that larger screen. So if you do like this separated screen, this is the only option, of course, that you have. On the left side, everything is fixed, so you can easily get to all of this information here. And then you also have quite a lot under car. You can use the dial down below too to further get through this information, where you can configure M1 and M2, so you can go between efficiency and Sport Plus, depending on the driving that you are doing, and you can have all of this set up and ready to go. You can also look at your vehicle status. You have multiple settings to go into with your lighting, your door access, everything like that. You have your driver profiles, owner's manual too, and then some driving information that you can pull up. You can even get into your sport displays, so you can monitor that while you're having some fun. And there's also shortcuts down below, so you can go through all this information without using it as a touch screen. You do have another system you can go into for your intelligent safety, and you have some standard safety features here that you can turn on and off. Now underneath that, there's air vents. There's also a screen right in the middle for the climates. So when you turn this on, you have your temperature, fan speed, where you'd like the air to go. You can also pull it up on the screen here and go through some more of that information. This model also has heated and ventilated seats, so push on one button and then you can control what you would like that to be. You have some defrosters as well, other AC adjustments. There's presets and tuning along with volume down below. M8 Competition badge. Underneath the wood trim, there's wireless charging, auxiliaries, and cup holders. All the shortcuts for that screen. And then this is how you put the vehicle into reverse, where this has automatic parking, the backup assistance, and then a few different angles that you can go into. So you have no shortage of visibility. There's also gesture control, so you can go around it without touching the screen itself. And then if I put this into drive and push on the shortcut down below, now you have the camera system that you can pull up in full screen. There's also sport mode to use the paddle shifters, and then park, and you have transmission adjustments on the backside. There's also traction control, parking sensors, engine start stop. And then when you go into M mode, this is the only way to change the gauge cluster. So now you have a little bit more of a sporty design along with a large tach in your miles per hour up top. So if you want to view all of this information with some on that right side, you can get into that. Setup is also how you can go through M1 and M2, and then you have an exhaust note, auto hold, and the e-brake. There's an auxiliary with storage in the armrest, a locking glove box, and then garage door buttons and dome lights up top. And then here's a look at visibility. With those thin pillars in the back, it's pretty easy to see. So you have a good bit of visibility over both shoulders. As we set up behind the wheel now for the last model for the M8 Competition Gran Coupe. This also applies to the normal coupe as well as the convertible too. So if you're looking for the M8, now is the time to buy one. I'm not sure what BMW's plan is to replace these. Maybe they have some kind of different model coming out. I don't know if the sales numbers on the M8 were worth keeping it around, but this is something that is truly a performance-oriented vehicle. Not really as practical since this mainly is a 4-seater with the option of having that 5th person. So maybe that was a concern with it. But nonetheless, this is a fantastic vehicle to drive. You have a lot of power. You have a luxury-focused vehicle that still, at the end of the day, is a practical sedan. BMW just calls their sedans, some of them Gran Coupes like this, because it's a larger coupe, of course. So let's put this into some of the M controls here, where we also have the option of adjusting the transmission. I think that is something that is really neat because you can basically adapt this vehicle to the driving conditions in front of you. And it's got a lot of power. It definitely wants to keep going. But what's nice with all of these adjustments is that you can set the vehicle up to the conditions in front of you to where the vehicle is going to be much more comfortable. So while I have it in the highest the highest shifts right now, that's not something that's going to be applicable for slower speeds and for stop and go traffic, things like that. So you can tone it down to where the vehicle will be much smoother for those situations. So with a lot of the BMW M cars, you have the options to do that just to make this more of a daily driver that is very comfortable to drive. And as we get back up to speed, it also sounds good too. For this family style vehicle, it's got a very, very nice exhaust on it, which will get quieter, of course, as you heard in those rev clips earlier. And as far as driving this goes, at 5'10", up front, you do get more headroom. So I have probably about 2 inches or so, and that is with the seat almost all the way down. So we do have some adjustments there. At the end of the day, this is a pretty luxury focused vehicle, and I will be interested to see what BMW decides to do to replace this, because this is a nice vehicle. I don't get to drive these all that often, so it is nice to get behind the wheel and check them out. And it's a vehicle that, while it has some weight to it, I think this is something that you could take on some back roads. You have a luxury focused vehicle, but at the end of the day, you have an M car. So it's very well performance oriented. Wow. And I think it'll be able to handle its weight well if you take it through some twisty roads. And from second gear, here we go. And just a minor acceleration, we're up to speed, but this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the M8. Now, while I have it in M mode here, and with the setup, I have the chassis in Sport Plus, so the road is, you can feel it. But when you put it into comfort for the chassis, it gets a little bit softer, a little bit more forgiving. So depending on how you want to drive it, again, you have multiple different settings, which is very nice for something that is luxury focused like this, but also performance oriented too. So it's a nice model. And you do have some other BMW M cars like the M3. You can go with the M5 as well, which is a plug-in hybrid. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think we have a new M3 coming very soon. The M5 just came out. There has to be a replacement for this or something new from BMW. But you can't go wrong with the M8. I see these every now and then out on the road, so I'm not sure if they had a high sales number, but it's definitely a very nice vehicle. You have basically all the M performance that you need in a luxury-focused family sedan. So let's give it one more acceleration from a standstill. Nothing crazy for today, but it definitely gets up. And with the shifts in that quickest setting, you can feel the shifts. So that's something that in those performance settings is something that you want to feel, but if you put it all the way down into setting 1, now it's going to be comfortable, just like a normal daily driving vehicle. There's a small delay in the shifts, it's a little bit smoother, but that's the function and the characteristic with being able to go through all 3 of those. But that is going to wrap it up for the BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe. If you want one, now is the time, and we'll have to see what BMW decides to do for the future model. But that will wrap it up. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Huge shout out again to Hendrick BMW Charlotte for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.